So welcome to the next video in our MongoDB with Python series today. We're tackling with data modeling today and how to structure your MongoDB collections for efficient storage and retrieval. So we'll design a blog app schema, write some Python code to create document. So let's dive in. First of all, we're gonna understand. So let's recap from the previous videos, get some understanding about the MongoDB. So MongoDB is a NoSQL database that stores data as JSON-like documents, unlike relational databases with table and rows. So each document is a flexible record in a collection. For example, a blog post might look like this. Uh, if I create a document, this is a document will look like in a MongoDB. I can create multiple fields with their multiple data types. So right now I have 3 different fields with the name, title, author, and content. And the type of these fields, all these 3 fields have is string. We can have multiple data types, and for learning more about data types, we will dive into the concepts about JSON. So this is for another video. Let's just focus on MongoDB part for this. And this is an example of what a MongoDB document will look like. And the core feature of this is that we will get flexibility on how we want to store data in our database. So for example, if I have another field with the name of comments, we can have multiple comments on a blog post from different users. We can have another type which is called an array in JSON. We can have array of different documents as well. And in this, we can have comment, we can have user who commented. For example, user Joe commented that this is a nice post. And we can have as many comments as we want in this area. This shows us the capabilities of storing data inside MongoDB. Since we are dealing with data modeling today, then this is really crucial for us to understand what sort of flexibility that we have. Unlike in relational databases, we have to stick with data in form of column and rows. So we have really limited flexibility in terms of data structures, defining custom or complex data models. So this is an example of a blog post. Let's dive deeper into designing this example as a blog post. I'll just add a comment here. All right. So let's design a schema for blog app with users, post, and comments. We'll use 2 collections, users and post. If you're familiar with the term collection, it's like a table. If you talk about relational database, but in tables, we have rows and columns. In collections, we have documents. And each object that you're seeing in front of you, this is a document, and a collection cat can have multiple documents in this structure. Let's design. So this is one example, a document. For today's video, we will have two collections. Users collection. This collection will have users data like username, which is going to be a string. And we will have users email, which is also going to be string. And then we will have another type of collection, which is going to be the post. And in this, we will have different type of fields like title. This is going to be string. We can have author ID. Now this is really important since in relational database we have the concept of keys, primary keys and foreign keys. There's no such concept in of keys in MongoDB, since this is NoSQL database. But we still have to we have to define some sort of a relation between the collection when we have to get the data from the database. So I'm gonna assign this type as well as string. And content. Content is going to be all the text that is inside the blog post. This is also going to be the type string. And then we will have comments. This is going to be type array. And the reason that comments is going to be type of array is the reason that I've shown you earlier, that we can have multiple comments for a single blog post. And another reason that embedding comments reduces queries, because since if we want to get the post, we don't have to query another collection to get the comments for that post. But for the larger apps, if you are working on a large scale app, it is a good idea to move the comments to another collection, since the comments can grow really large. Now, this is going to be a really simple data model. Let's start with some Python code, and I'll show you guys an example of how we can create documents and define a sort of a relationship between these collections and retrieve the data. Okay. So first of all, for this, I'm going to install PyMongo. I'm pretty sure that I've already installed that. PyMongo, from PyMongo, import Mongo client. And I do not have PyMongo installed on my machine right now, but that's not a problem because we can create a virtual environment here through UV. All right, let's activate this environment and use this command to install PyMongo. Since I've installed I've created this virtual environment using UV. So all the packages that we have to install, we're going to install those packages through UV. We can also do UV add PyMongo. This is also doable, but this requires us PyProject toml. Since I'm not working on a project, we can just run simple UV pip install PyMongo. This will install the package in the virtual environment without creating a proper project inside, without any configuration file. All right, so let's see. I should have the virtual environment active now. Now we got the PyMongo installed, and let's create a client, Mongo client. I already have MongoDB installed on this instance, and if I can sh into that, yes. So if you have installed Mongo sh on your MongoDB installed on your system, if you're using Ubuntu or any Linux operating system, you can just run Mongo sh on your terminal, and you will be redirected, or you will see a shelf to shell connected to MongoDB where you can query data from it. All right, so let's just I've created the client, and now we can move on to the DB part. So let's create a DB. I'm gonna assign this, I'm gonna call this DB the blog post DB, and through that we can, this is how we can basically get the DB from our MongoDB instance. So it doesn't matter if we have this DB inside our MongoDB right now, because this will, when we insert the document, this is going to be created on the go. So if you don't have the DB already in this DB with this name in your MongoDB instance, don't worry about it. It will be already created. All right, so now we have blog post DB. Now we will create two collections as we have defined in our data model: users collection, then we will have posts collection. Now we have got both of these collections ready, and now we can start working on adding we can start with adding the document in these collections. So first of all, let's start with users collection. You will see some examples here. If you click on this collection and type dot, you probably see a list of functions that you can use with the collections: insert, insert many, aggregate. These are some of the advanced functions. I've covered some of the basic functions like insert one, insert many in my previous video. I will cover some of the advanced functions like aggregate in my future videos. So for now, let's insert one document. If you remember, we have two different fields in this collection: username, which is I'm going to set as John Doe, and email I'm going to set as johndoe@gmail.com. Once this is done, let's run this script and see if the data has been already added. So if I run python main.py, now if I go mongo sh and use, this is how you can use your terminal to connect to MongoDB as well. Use blog post DB. This is going to connect with this DB. And if I run show collections, you'll see that I have a collection named users here. And if I do DB users, find one, you'll see that I have a collection with, in this collection, I have a document with two different fields, username and email. So this is a good start. Now I'm gonna comment this one because if I run this one again, this is going to add a new document with the username John Doe and email johndoe@gmail.com. I don't want that. Let's just go to post and add a new post with this specific user. I'm gonna add title as my first blog post, then author ID. Now this part is really important, that I can add anything I want here, but in order to have some sort of a relationship between these collections, I'm going to link this author ID with the username field of this users collection. So I'm going to assign same value that I have for username in users collection in author ID. So if I query, I'm gonna also query the data from users DB, and then I can get all the collections, all the documents, all the posts from the post DB. Let's just create this document quickly. Content. Hello, this is my first blog post using MongoDB. And let's just add one comment as well. Okay, so I'm gonna just keep it simple. We can have comments, and in this comments array, we can have multiple comments. Now let's run this script again. I'm gonna exit the Mongo sh. If I run again and go back into Mongo sh, use blog post DB, and if I run show collections, we will see two collections, users and post. And if I run same command that I run for users, but for the post, I'll see a new document added for this DB, for this collection. Now let's do a couple of new users and also add post for those users as well. So I'm gonna just create users with different usernames, and we will query the data based on the users and get all the posts at the end. And I'm going to copy this one. We can also run, so let's just go and see if we can add multiple posts at the same time. For this, we're going to use insert many instead of insert one. So this is going to be, let's change the titles a little bit. So we know that we're getting data for this user. Now, if I run this now, successfully ran. If I go into Mongo SH and use DB, if we run db.post find one, we're gonna get one document. But if I run just find, I will get all the documents that I have in this collection. You can see I have another collections for John Doe 1 and John Doe 1 as well too. I've got two different posts. Now I'm gonna comment out all of these insertions queries or the uh, code, and let's just now retrieve the data in Python. So first of all, let's get all the users that I have in users collection. We can run find. This will return us all the users that we have in in this collection. And iterate over each user. I will get all the posts for each user. The post dot find, but in the find, we're going to add a query that author ID is equal to should be equal to users username. And if I run print, and we also have to convert that into a list, I should see all the posts for each user. Let's just also print the users username, exit out of Mongo sh, run python.main.py. Okay, so there's an error. Obviously, I am rewriting the post variable. Let's just change this to some different variable. Now let's run this again. All right. So you can see for John Doe, I only had one blog post with title my first blog post, but John Doe 1 had different type of blog post, and I've also got list of all his blog posts as well. So this is an example of how you can design a data model, how you can build relationship between collections in MongoDB. So this is a really concise tutorial, and if you want anything advanced, we can also cover aggregations and other type of stuff that will help us aggregate data from not just two collections, from multiple collections. So if we split these comments into a different collections, then we also have to get the data from not just post collection and also from the comments collections. So this is a really advanced topic, and if you guys want me to cover that as well, let me know in the comments. So that's how you model data in MongoDB with Python. If it was helpful, drop any question in the comments. See you next time.